the channel. It has been a little while since I filmed because I have been so exhausted. I have just come back from being overseas in Indonesia, and I wanted to share with you the Indonesia diaries. There'll be some things that I can't share with you. I think I might have mentioned that in some of my previous videos, but my oldest son and I went over to Indonesia with Compassion, who are an organisation that help to release children from poverty. And so it wasn't a holiday by any means, and we got to experience what poverty is like over there, but also some amazing things as well. And so I just wanted to share some of what we experienced with you, and let's get stuck into it. So first of all, travel day, and I will just share some voiceovers and things. We were with a group of around 20 people, including interpreters. So it wasn't necessarily something that I could film in a vlogging style as such, but I will do my best just to share some of what we experienced over there. And as I said, there'll be some things I will not be sharing, but I just wanted to let you see a taste, and for my own memories as well. I wanted a taste of, like, to be able to look back on these memories of this time, because it was my son's and my first time ever going overseas, and it has been, I'm still processing through some of what we saw and experienced, and that will take some time, and that's okay as well, because that's part of travel sometimes, and especially for this particular type of travel, where we got to experience the highs and lows of what life can be like for some people. And as I said, with that comes a lot to process, and there has been some tears, but there's also been a lot of joy, and that I can, from this experience, the hope that I can see in the lives of these beautiful people because of Compassion and the way that they work with local churches and within the community. It has been incredible. So if you've ever thought about sponsoring a child through any organisation, I can 100% tell you, Compassion, every cent goes towards these children and their families. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw folders stacked high with the invoices and receipts from the childcare centres that showed every single cent that was spent on these children. I saw it through home visits where we were able to speak to the families of these children as well, and they were able to tell us things firsthand. So it was just so eye-opening, mind-blowing, incredible, one of the most, like, if not the best experience I've ever had in my life, whilst also being one of the hardest things I've ever experienced in my life too. But let me take you for travel day, and I hope you enjoy seeing a little bit of what we got up to. And as I said, there will be some things I can't show you, but what I can show you, I will show you now.
The overhead compartment. Smoking including
we flew into Kuala Lumpur, which technically means Malaysia was my first ever country that I've ever visited outside of Australia. And we just made our way around the airport and found a Dunkin' Donuts, which is a novelty. So we decided to just get a little snack there before boarding our next flight to Medan in Indonesia. After landing as a group, we headed into the old city area of Medan to just acclimatise a little bit before our hotel room was ready, and we all had dinner together with the rest of the group. Now, also on this trip, my brother, my sister-in-law, my 2 nephews and my niece were also with us. So it was actually really special because for my sister-in-law and her 3 kids too, and my older son's cousin, so my nephews and niece, it was also their very first time overseas. My brother has been overseas before, but for the rest of us, it was actually super special. And there was also other people from the church that I attend as well that got to experience this trip together. So it just was really, really special to have that opportunity to share with people that we're going to be able to continue to talk about this experience with others and to share what Compassion does overseas and what we can be doing to help support this amazing organisation. It was so different here compared to anything that I'm used to seeing here in Australia, and it was just as we were driving, just even driving in our little buses that we had, it was just trying to take everything in as best as I possibly could. Top, which was established in 1934, where we had our first traditional Indonesian food, and I went with nasi goreng. Then we had a little bit of time to explore some of the shops and things around this area, where there was an incredible music store as well as lots of other amazing stores, before heading to our first hotel, the Swiss Berlin Motel. And don't let this rain fool you. It was so incredibly hot. So I just thought I'd show you our room. This is our room. It's in the Westphalian Hotel in Medan. It's a 2 single bed room. We came in and we just crashed, so excuse our stuff that is everywhere. But it's pretty basic. Bathrooms in there. Well, someone's having a shower in a minute, so I won't show you in there, obviously. A little luggage rack and safe, and some slippers there, which is lovely. I think there's obviously can get some laundry done, I think there, and some hangers there. Air conditioning, which is absolutely a must here, absolute must, because it has been so humid. Like, I can't even explain how humid. This is our beds. As I said, we've had a bit of a rest, and it's just all tile floor, which is really nice and cool. TV there, little artwork. I also have a desk along here, and it's currently raining, but we have a Alpha Mart and an Indo-Market, I think, or something, just outside our window as well. We're on the 3rd floor. But this rain has brought so much relief for this humidity, so I am all for it. And we also get tissues and a little tea and coffee here as well. Definitely cannot drink the water, have to drink bottled water only here too. There you go, that's our little room overview. As I said, still unpacking, stuff's everywhere, but it's the bed's comfy, I can already say that, and everything is going well so far. After a dinner and a debrief with our group, and the dinner was delicious every night here, we went to the Alpha Mart. Guess how much in Australian dollars this cost? $6.80. This peach Viennetta, but it's not a Viennetta, it's an Hysteria, was so good. So, day 2. We're about to have breakfast, and we'll go do some things with our group later this morning and most of today, and it's going to be a great day. It's so hot, the humidity is 100%, but it's been amazing. Yesterday, some of the things that, it was just such a different culture to what I'm used to and what we're used to, and that's what this is all about. It's about experiencing different things and new things. So, it was very eye-opening, like the amount of people and the amount of traffic. And even now I'm hearing horns beeping just outside my window. But it is amazing. Like, it's been really, really cool to see just the way that people live. It's such a mixture of different cultures here, and buildings and architecture and the food and just everything. It is a little bit sensory overload, which is why I haven't filmed a lot. Because I'm trying to take it all in for myself as well, and just so different. It's just different, but also there's so many things that are the same. And like, some things that I've loved is seeing like whole families together, even if it's, for us in Western culture might think it's a bit dangerous to have 4 kids on a small little motorbike or in a little tiny tuk-tuk, but that's their normal, and it was lovely to see that they're actually all together. So their sense of community and their family is really strong here, it feels like. Some of the hard things have been the begging. And, we had someone do busking as well for us, and we weren't allowed to, he was expecting money. So it's those little things. And because we are coming into this place, that's going to happen because they're not used to having tourists here as much either. So, but it has been amazing. Slept really well last night, as well as I could, and that was great because I really needed extra sleep. But that's the update from yesterday so far, travel day. It was long. I think I only had 3 hours sleep yesterday, but today is much better. I've had at least 7.5, I think. And I'm getting prepared to head out into this humidity because it literally smacks you in the face and takes your breath away. So I can explain it. But let's get today happening. Basically, each day we actually travelled to a compassion project and we did activity. They'd have welcome activities and they'd often greet us with like a special traditional dance. And we'd meet the staff and the children, introduce ourselves to everyone there, and then do group activities, have lunch, and then do home visits. So that's when we'd often get to meet our own sponsored children that we have in this area, or we get to go alongside somebody else within our team while they got to visit their sponsored child. And so I was designated photographer today for one of our group leaders who was visiting her sponsored child today. And it was just so special, such a special moment. And this was a home visit as well. This was one of the more poor areas today, but again, super eye-opening. And I will just, for the privacy of everyone involved, I'll just share a little bit about what we got to see today. And then in the evening, every evening, we always had a chance to share what was some of the highs and lows of the day. It was such a privilege and an honour to hear the story of our team leader's child and to meet some of the local children and staff from the compassion projects, as well as just to meet some of the local children as they came out to greet us.
Hi! Oh, I remember crossing this part. We're going the right way. This is where Tim was. I've decided if I have to walk in the water, so be. Hello.
What is your name? Bunny.
Bunny. It was very cute. I'm sure I got the laughter on the video too.
That night before our debrief, we went out to a restaurant for dinner, and it was lovely to try lots of different Indonesian foods. Today was an extra special day as I got to meet a child that is sponsored by our church under our Generations Ministry area, but particularly in the children's ministry space. And so I've known and written letters to him and had kids help write letters to him for a number of years. And we also have another little girl that I also got to meet later in the trip called Grace that is in our generation space. It's sponsored too by our church. And today was the day of meeting Noah and his family. And it was just such a special time of sharing food together, having conversations with his parents. And also it was a tough day too, because hearing some of his story, which I won't share in this space, but that's one of the things that I'm still processing through. But also seeing that compassion has given this family so much, and you can see it in the joy that they're experiencing just in this moment right now. And it was such a privilege and an honour to have the opportunity to talk to his parents and to him, and to meet them in person, because through letters there's so much that you don't see and so much that you don't get to experience, even though they are super special. But meeting these beautiful children in person was such a special moment, and one I will never ever forget. next day we celebrated my nephew's 17th birthday, and 17 is a significant birthday in Indonesia, as we discovered. And this cake was absolutely amazing. And then we also attended church, and it was my son, a really, like, as a mum, seeing his son get to meet his sponsor child could not be more special. And I'm so proud of him for the way that he is giving back, but also just for who he is. And it was just incredible to get to meet Maya and his family today and to experience that with my oldest son. So as well as having an opportunity to have lunch together after church with this beautiful family, we got to spend a significant amount of time just sharing stories and having laughter and playing with bubbles and things at their home and praying together. And what I loved so much is when we had the opportunity to pray for these beautiful families, their prayers were the same as our prayers here, in that they wanted their children to have a strong faith in God. They wanted their children to grow up healthy and strong and to be happy and to be able to, to achieve their dreams. And that's exactly the same prayers we have for our children here in Australia, and I dare say in so many places around the world. And unbeknownst to my son, they had purchased with the birthday money that he'd sent through Compassion a bike which will benefit the whole family. And it was just so special for them to bring that out, and just for us to get to see that the money truly does go to each of these children 100% of the time. But not only that, it also has a lasting impact on the entire family. Following this incredible home visit and being able to meet Sam's sponsor child's family, we travelled to a different location to be able to visit some more of the Compassion projects over the next few days. And it was more remote area, but definitely just as busy, which surprised me but also it was the weekend, so I think there had been and school holidays at the time we were visiting, so perhaps that was why it was still so busy in this area. And it was a bit more of a touristy escape from the city space that we were visiting, and it was actually beautiful to go into the mountains and to see just the little markets on the sides of the road, and to just be again immersed in this incredible, beautiful culture of Indonesia. And it was such a novelty, but I didn't manage to capture any footage of them, but there were some wild monkeys, and that was so cool to see because we don't have them here. I've only ever seen them in zoos, so it was actually really cool to see that side of Indonesia too, and that was the tourist definitely coming out in me. This was our new accommodation in the area of Berastagi, and it was quite simple but just what we needed to get through the next few days. and a little bit cooler, which was also really nice because in Medan itself, it was so hot and so humid and there was no wind whatsoever, whereas being a little bit higher up in the mountain area and a little bit more rural, it meant that the weather was just a little bit cooler, which was quite nice. And to make it even a bit more special, there was a KFC on the same property as where we were staying, and they had a swimming pool area and just private little dining area for us to be able to have meals together. So it was always buffet style, and it was actually quite beautiful, as I said, just to be in a little bit more of nature and in that mountain area, which was absolutely stunning. The next day started with breakfast in our hotel, and those cafe mochas that I found were brilliant for my coffee addiction before heading to the markets. Everyone had a bit of a free choice morning this morning just to do what they'd like to do, and I decided that this was definitely something I'd like to experience. So let's enjoy the markets together. Yes, there is horse rides. Yes, there were carriages with Frozen and My Little Pony painted on them. It was vibrant. It was colourful. It was amazing, and I really enjoyed this morning just to reset a little bit too after some really, really lovely days, but days where there was a lot to process as well amongst the stories and everything that we'd been hearing. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm just like, what? Yeah. After the markets, the Compassion group had decided to surprise us by getting us KFC for lunch, which was a real treat. And yeah, there's also a little bit of spice in the chicken here, as well as everything else that we were fed. I was the person that kept asking, how spicy is this, throughout our entire time here. But it was delicious, and the fries were like Macca's fries, in case you're wondering. We then went through the town of Berastagi, or I think it's a town, on our way to our next project. We were greeted again with a special dance that they'd been practicing for weeks leading up to our arrival, which was so special and so beautiful, and lots of other musical performances, as well as an explanation about what this project does and how they've been working in the community. I'm going to blur this clip just for privacy reasons, but this was absolutely beautiful, them singing Goodness of God, which is a song that we sing here in Australia too. It's just a well-known worship song, and it was just absolutely stunning. And this man, can this kid sing?
Oh, I will share of the goodness.
the rest of this afternoon was just such a beautiful blessing to be able to hang out with these beautiful teens and young kids and play games and get to know each other better and to feed them a meal. And then we were able to go back to our accommodation and just share again our rock and feather moments from the last few days. So the things that have sat heavy and the things that have been a joy, and also to try new fruits. That's a passion fruit, by the way. This morning I started off trying this sweet bread pastry that we'd been given the day before, and we thought we had a 3-hour drive to our next project, but it actually was much shorter than that. But we enjoyed seeing the scenery on the drive there in our little minivans, and we're very surprised because I did not expect at all that we would also get the opportunity to see an active and live volcano in real life, and the most volcano-looking volcano I've ever seen.
How many years ago?
10, more than, I think, if I'm more or less 10 years ago. Yeah.
As we had time to actually just have a little bit of a wander before meeting the project children and their mentors and staff, we were able just to have a bit of a wander, and we found coffee beans, which were incredible. And we also were able to purchase from just a little store in a home front some ice creams called La Lava ice creams, which were really cool. And with the coffee beans, the red ones meant that they were ripe and they were ready to pick, but the green ones meant that they were too bitter. And yes, they also have spiders in Indonesia who make incredible webs. Then it was time to spend some time with these beautiful children again in this new project, and to have just a bit of a tour around of some of the things that they get to do. It was also amazing to see what they have in place to help, with the education, like baking and cooking, and just even the amazing library that they had here too was just superb. And it was so bright and colourful, and just such an inviting environment for these beautiful children and their families.
Scared. So if there's rice left in your hair, it means you get blessing. So please.
After a fruit snack and some games and things with the children, we then were invited into the project's offices, and we were able to see letters that were yet to be distributed to the children from within this project specifically, and actually hear about the process and what happens with those letters. And my brother and sister-in-law were actually able to see the folder of their own sponsor child on this particular day, as well as we were able to have meals together, and they did get us KFC, which was extra special. On this day, I got the privilege of meeting one of our church members' sponsor children, or a couple of our church members' sponsor children, as well as my brother and sister-in-laws and my niece and nephew's sponsor child. And we also got to, as I said, see different things that was happening in this project, like cooking classes, where these beautiful girls, young teenagers, made brownies for us. And we also got to try some other foods that I hadn't tried before, I think like sticky beans. I'm not exactly, can't remember what these things were called. So if you know, put them in the comments, but they were delicious. And that night we had delicious barbecue buffet at our hotel, which was great, and had a bit of an early night because also we had to leave again the next day for our final day of together, basically as a full team, and we headed back down the mountain towards our final project for this incredible experience with Compassion. And this was a really special day because I also had the opportunity to meet our second child that is sponsored by our church. in our kids ministry space, and her name is Grace, and got to meet her mum and hear her story, and it was just such an incredible time. And they also had asked for our group to play soccer with them, and just wait until you see the field that they played on. On arrival at our final project, we were greeted with another traditional and lovely welcome dance, as well as some musical items. And also we had someone in our team that also played violin and sung amazing songs for the kids as well. And again, learnt about this project before having our game of soccer. And again, what made this day, as I said, so special was that I got to spend time with Grace and her mum and get to know her a lot better than I had previously. And it was just such a blessing to be able to spend time with not just her, but all of the children that were part of this day. As I mentioned earlier, they really wanted to have a game of soccer with us, and yes, it was muddy, it was hilly, that you could lie down flat in the hills with the dips in this soccer field was still be over your back. So it was a little bit dangerous, but it was also lots of fun, and you'll never guess which team won, and it wasn't ours, I will say. That was an easy one for you. And it was really cool to be able to present a little trophy to everyone at the end of that game, and then to just, as I said, spend time as a group with these beautiful children and their families. And after the soccer match and having lunch and snacks and things together with these beautiful children, I just got to spend a lot of time with Grace and her family. We took some photos, we had bubble play, we did balloon animals, we did colouring, we posed for photos. It was just such a beautiful time. And we also talked and prayed together, and I gave some gifts to her from home, and just such, as I said, such a blessing to get to know her and her mum and to hear her story and to see how compassion has had such an incredible impact on her life. It really hit hard leaving this project, and even as I'm recording this, it's making me teary as I'm editing this footage together. Just what an incredible impact all of these compassion projects that we'd visited over this time had had on every single one of us. And I'm just including some photos and things of some of that, just a miscellaneous bunch of photos as I share. Just again, how incredible the work Compassion does with the help of local churches in providing a holistic approach to trying to help those with poverty and to defeat poverty in the name of Jesus. And it was just such a beautiful, beautiful thing to see in person. And as I've mentioned, the money, every single cent of it goes towards these children and their families. And the staff and everyone were just such incredible, incredible people, and so loving and so kind and so generous with what they had. And it was one of the, as I said at the very beginning, one of the best experiences, but also one of the most difficult experiences I've faced. And it's going to have an impact on my life and the life of my son and all those that attended for many, many, many years to come. After leaving the project and getting back to our original hotel for our final night, it was actually great to have an opportunity to have a look through one of the local supermarkets and just to see what they sell, and to also have an opportunity to buy a few little bits and pieces to take home. And it was also a really nice distraction from the emotions at that point in time that we were all experiencing after leaving that final project, and just having a time to just reset and before having to reflect, having a time to reflect on everything that we'd experienced so far on this trip together. final morning. And a bit of a mess, but we've got basically the exact same room, just a little bit further down the hall in the Swiss Bell Inn. And yes, we're trying to get all of our bits and pieces sorted before we fly home today. Before heading to the airport, we visited Delhi Park Mall, and I did not expect it to be as massive as this.
Maybe we should start at the top and work our way down.
Wow.
Parks. And yeah, this is what we want. This mall had so many things, including this amazing little area called Kids Land, and there was more kids stuff and another Lego area and kids areas all over, basically on every level. But this looked like lots of fun. After looking through lots of shops, we stopped for these Japanese-style pancakes, which were the fluffiest pancakes I've ever had in my entire life. I've never had anything like this before. Kind of, not even souffle. I don't know, I do not know how to describe it, but they were delicious. So light, so fluffy, so delicious, and they were boba, not berries, on the side as well, which was a bit different but so good. After our time just picking up last bits and pieces from the mall, we started driving to the airport, and we went via the Grand Mosque of Medan, which was an incredibly architecturally building, which would have been great to have had a look at, but maybe next time. After getting a glimpse of this, it was time to head straight to the airport, where we had lunch, and it was such a novelty to have Burger King instead of Hungry Jack's. And they even had the crowns that we could try on as well, which was a bit of fun. That's fun.
Oh, hold on.
And guess what? They don't charge extra for cheese at Burger King, just so you know. But yeah, whilst this was lovely, it was also a time where I was feeling a little bit down, because I knew that, yes, I was excited to be going home to the rest of our family, but also it meant that this incredible experience was coming to an end. So our first flight was only an hour to Kuala Lumpur. Then we had a almost 7-hour flight to Sydney, where we had a 4-hour layover before getting back to Melbourne. But I am so forever grateful for the experience that we got to have and for everything that I learnt from that when it comes to my own faith and who God is in this world, in all places and in all spaces. And you can be living so far away from others, but God is still present in so many ways and in all things. And it was just a beautiful time to be able to share with these children of God's love, and also to see God in action in this space and to see the hope that they have. They may have less materialistic things than us. They may be living in conditions that, compared to what we may have, may seem very, very simple, but they still have the love of God in their lives, and you could see that in the way they treated others and in the generosity and kindness of their children, and in the way that compassion worked with every single one of the families and every single individual child that we had the opportunity to meet during this time. It is, as I've said at the very beginning, an experience that I will never ever forget. It was one of the best experiences of my life, but also one of the most difficult in experiencing some of the things that we did experience. But I wouldn't change it for the world, because it has now opened my eyes to the work of compassion in a far greater way. And if you would like to find out more about compassion, head to their website. I will link it below in the description for this video. And if you've ever thought about sponsoring a child, again, please have a look at their website. It is one of the most beautiful things that you can do. And it's not only for the individual child, but for their entire family and also for their entire community as well. It has a flow-on effect in so many ways. One of the things I forgot to mention earlier in the video was that we actually had an opportunity to see and hear stories firsthand from what they call alumni. So it was 3 young adults now that had been sponsored previously, and they were able to share about the impact that compassion sponsorship had on their lives, and therefore on the lives of their families, and where they are at now. And honestly, it was absolutely incredible to hear what they'd come from to where they are now, and what they are now giving back to their community and families as well, and how the cycle of poverty for those particular families, those 3 individuals, has been broken. And we could see this happening and hear the hope, as I said, the hope that these families had every time we met with them and had conversations with them. So if you've ever thought about sponsorship, please do. The letters that we write to our sponsor kids really do have an impact on them as well. And if you ever get an opportunity to meet your sponsor children like we were able to on this trip, it's absolutely incredible. Meeting Noah and Grace and Maya and so many other beautiful children during this time. 100% if you get that opportunity, it is absolutely incredible. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you've been able to get a bit of a glimpse of what Indonesia was like. I know it wasn't all the touristy things, but that's not what this trip was about at all. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.